This show is clean.
Hi.
Pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 725. Hi. Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcaster Valley, California. Today, Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer, plus it's the finale of my Into It interview with JT Mudd of the indie electronic dance band from Dallas called ISHI. And dogs, do they get jealous? The answer may surprise you. Kinda. Mike's Daily Podcast. And then we'll also look into something I saw down my street. It wasn't a panda. Mike's Daily Podcast. Hey, on the last show, we had Valentino tell me something interesting, that he was trying to talk to Kristen Stewart, and she had a sting to her because all she does is mumble, and you can't understand what she says. And then she turns into a vampire, or maybe a flash in the pan actress instead. No, she's gonna someday be on The View. Mike's Daily Podcast. Be on the panel, I imagine. Down the street from where I live, there is a Mike's divorce lawyer. Daily. And he uses podcast. This phone number that spells out it's over. And the logo he uses is of a hand handing another hand divorce papers. What do you think about that? Look who just walked in.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, job supervisor, and divorce is like so sad.
It is sad. And it's sad because as I was going through my divorce, I used to have to walk past that place all the time when I'm walking my dog, Basil the Boxer. And today, in fact, we walked past it. And now that the divorce is over with and everything is finalized, I don't really care anymore. But I just, like, what? I know you want to be specific when you're advertising your business so people know what you are, but still, very depressing. And I walked past that office today, walked down to this coffee place called Cornerstone Coffee. It's here in Podcaster Valley, California. John runs it. And John is a very smart, wise fella. I think he's maybe a little bit younger than me. And he and I had this discussion today as I was sitting out there with Basil the Boxer. He has a little outdoor patio area. And I'm having my coffee talking to him. And he's saying some stuff that I wish I was recording because it was brilliant. It was hilarious. After he said all of it, I'm like, all I needed was you to be on a stage and me drinking a cocktail and paying a food waiter person. I'm being PC. And they and it would have felt like I was at a comedy club or something. And he said something about, it was the people he met on OkCupid, and pretty much what he summed up about meeting women now at this point in his life, because he's single. And it was funny, but as in most really funny things, also kind of depressing. And he also mentioned something about dogs and meeting people who like dogs. Next time I go down there, I'm going to record him. I'm going to do a mic on mobile from there, and you'll be able to hear his stuff. John at Cornerstone Coffee. If you live in the Podcastro Valley area, please go over there and say to John, hey, tell me the funny stuff that you told Mike, who has the dog Basil the Boxer, and he will rattle it off for you. It'll be great.
Mike Matthews, I can't wait.
And look who else just walked in. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, I have some pretty funny things to say about diodes. Oh, okay, let's hear it. Diodes. It's like saying die with an ode. Okay, I don't quite... Was that supposed to be profound? Like ode to a Grecian urn and that kind of thing? Is it an ode on a Grecian urn? Yeah. I don't remember. Let's hear it for Greek literature and stuff. And let's hear it for dogs. Because dogs are great. Like you, Basil the Boxer. And this study that was recently done at the University of California, San Diego, one of the most awesome campuses in the world with all the eucalyptus trees and cool architecture. Lots of cement architecture building things that are very cool that I remembered I don't know. I haven't been there since the 80s, but I remember it was very cool. And Dr. Seuss lived around there somewhere. All right. So they found out that if you're petting another dog, your dog is going to show something that Dr. Christine Harris, a psychologist at the University of California, San Diego, says is a form of jealousy, even if not as complex and twisted as the adult human form of jealousy. This according to nytimes.com. Other scientists agree there is something going on, but not all are convinced that it is actually jealousy. Dr. Harris has been studying human jealousy for years when she took this question on, inspired partly by the antics of her parents' border collies. When she petted them, quote, one would take his head and knock the other's head away. But having studied humans, she was aware of different schools of thought about jealousy. Some scientists argue that jealousy requires complex thinking about self and others, which seems beyond a dog's ability. Others think that although our descriptions of jealousy are complex, the emotion itself may not be. Dog emotions, as owners perceive them, have been studied before. In one case, a cognitive scientist named Alexandra Horowitz, she found that the so-called guilty look that dogs exhibit seemed to be more related to fear of punishment than actual guilt. The study done at the University of California, San Diego, had dog owners petting and talking to a realistic stuffed dog that barked and whined. And the people's own dogs came over, pushed the person or the stuffed dog, and sometimes barked. After the experiment, many of the dogs sniffed the rear end of the stuffed dog, suggesting that the dogs thought that they might be real. Also, there was the owners petted and talked to a jack-o'-lantern and read a children's book aloud to see if any old distraction would provoke a reaction. The dogs paid little attention to the jack-o'-lanterns and very little to the book. Now, Brian Hare, he is the director of the Duke Canine Cognition Center at Duke University, says there are practical implications from this study for their owners. Attention-seeking can lead to jealousy-like behavior in dogs that includes aggression in some cases, he says. So for dogs with suspected aggression problems, it may be important to avoid situations where they feel ignored. What do you think about that? Do you love dogs? Do you hate them? Do you find that they get jealous of you? Basil the Boxer doesn't get jealous. He really doesn't. I've only seen him slightly get a little bit concerned when I was petting another dog. But that seemed to go away once I petted him and the other dog simultaneously. He got the idea that, okay, it's all right that I am being petted and this other dog's being petted. Everything's okay. What do you think about it? Email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. There's also the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, where I've got links to all kinds of things, like where to find us on iTunes. Subscribe to the show in iTunes and rate and comment on the show. That helps our rankings so more people will find out about us. Another great way to support the show is the Amazon deal of the day. Click on that and buy something at a great discount, and we get a little bit of support from that. There's also our Facebook page. Like the Facebook page, and when I post a new show, share it with your friends. More people find out about us that way, too. There's also links there at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com to places like where we are found on YouTube, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, Spreaker, Stitcher, Yelp, Tumblr, and Twitter. We also got the blog, the Daily Podcast Picture, and all my past interviews there at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. And speaking of interviews...
Into an interview.
I'm speaking with JT Mudd of ISHI. And they're going to be playing...
Go ahead.
What?
No, I'm sorry.
They're going to be at the DNA Lounge in San Francisco August 1st. It's a concert.
Really?
That's right, you are. And there's a lot of dancing, and you sing, and you play instruments, and then you're dancing in these awesome outfits and such. And JT has a cool mustache. So, JT, I wanted to ask you, what is the dumbest question you've ever been asked about your awesome mustache?
Man, that's a good question. Is it real?
Is it real? Wow. It is bushy and wonderful. And as a guy that once tried to grow his goatee as long as possible and just ended up with a bird's nest that, well, birds lived in it, and it got a little unsanitary. But yours is nice and clean and symmetrical, and it's a work of art.
Well, thank you. Yes, it's definitely been a part of me for a little over 6 years now. So, yeah. It's very cool. And then you wear some awesome hats too. Well, thank you.
Do you have a...
those hats are some, like I have that marching hat with the disco ball effect, the mirror squares on it. That was a nice prop for our Disco Queen video, and it's a great show hat too.
Do you have a particular haberdasher that you go to?
No, I've been really blessed with people just knowing what I do and just give me some cool stuff. So I haven't had the time to really go out and look like I want to, but I definitely have what I need at the moment.
What are some of the concerts you've seen that moved you and may have inspired your concert experience that you create with ISHI?
All that was definitely early adolescence. Michael Jackson and David Bowie and stuff like that definitely inspired me and sparked something in my little memory bank to kind of aspire to, for sure.
And are there any other indie electronic bands out of Dallas that you know of? Yeah,
there's kind of a nice little cluster these days. There's this one called Def Rain, DEF Rain, ARAIN. And it's a female vocalist, and she pretty much produces and writes all her songs. And it's I don't know. I don't like to compare other artists, but it's to give you an idea. It's kind of like Crystal Castles, like Dirty South, style. It's just like, it's not high tempo. It's definitely, down tempo, just really cool and dark.
And they're also out of Dallas. Def Rain, huh?
Yeah.
And you've done these shows, people dancing. Have you ever been distracted by an impossibly hot woman dancing to one of your songs, like really close to the stage? I think that would be a little distracting to me.
Yeah, that's, I think, kind of the blessing and the curse of those glasses. I can't really see anything in them, so I can kind of put all my energy into and focus into the show. So I can't see,
the E
like I should, but I still can, but with, strobes flashing, inches, centimeters from your eyelids, you kind of just want to keep your eyes shut.
Those are the E-wire glasses.
Yeah, EL.
EL wire. And they're glowing like the Tron type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Well, so your latest album is called Digital Wounds. And what did that name come from? Digital Wounds. Yeah,
that was pretty much the theme of the record was, along the same lines of emotional hard drive. It was just trying to, try to find a balance between this technology, era and trying to find balance in it. And then at the same time, just kind of just the disconnections and the problems that it, takes away from human relations, and, and just trying to not let that rule, your world to a negative place,
And that was recorded. Was that recorded in different places? And you said like laptops and stuff. You could do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was recorded in studios. Bedrooms. Yeah, all over. Yeah, for sure.
Wow, you could record it all over. Is there when you hear a song, like I'm going to play Moonwatcher, when you hear it, do you remember the places that you were recording it and the experience?
I do now. I mean, those vocals were recorded, at my, at Brad's, actual work studio. He works for a post, company, so they have, a really extensive studio that we do, we try to get there as often as possible, but that also costs money. So, but I did that there, and
and that's Brad Dale.
A lot of fun. Brad Dale, yes,
and you
the man behind the scenes.
And you're playing off of each other a lot, or does one take care of one thing and the other takes care of the other, or it just sort of changes every song? The creation of it
kind of does, but a majority of the electronic stuff, he's got it all fleshed out, and then I'm just coming in and writing lyrics and melody on top of it, and then
I see.
Other songs I'll do all of it as well, and he'll just try to clean up everything.
And what inspired Moonwatcher?
Moonwatcher was definitely inspired by my current girlfriend,
does she like the moon?
The great place that we're in right now.
Do you guys go moon watching?
Yeah, she kind of has this sixth sense, if you will, just like always knows when it's going to be the full moon. Or just she's like, this is something we're out. She's like, oh, it's a full moon. I was like, yeah, you seem to know when that's happening.
And so, what did she think of the supermoon that we had a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, that was great. We had a big show in Dallas on pretty much the eve of the supermoon, so like we were playing right up into popping out in the sky.
Well, it should be a great show. The one here closer to where I am here, the DNA Lounge in San Francisco, August 1st with ISHI. And you can find out where they're going to be, ISHImusic.com. And they've got their latest album, Digital Wounds. And you can find out where to purchase that through ISHImusic.com. And let's play Moonwatcher from Digital Wounds.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for having us, and we're looking forward to meeting some wonderful San Fran people.
Yes. JT Mudd, good luck. And say hi to Dallas for me. And let's play Moonwatcher. It's ISHI on Mike's Daily Podcast. Moon Watcher. It's ISHI. Thank you again to JT Mudd for being on Mike's Daily Podcast. As we go outside the last place on earth where you're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in podcast.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The picture is of the happy smiley face from Have a Nice Day from the 70s. That freaking weird smiling face. And it's following me around, and I'm just being creeped out. And you see that cartoon where I am speaking to Floyd the Floorman. That's right, Mike. It was a strange occurrence that happened one day when you and I were together. Because I'm Floyd the Floorman, and I'm scared of smiley faces. And me too, so that's why the whole world needs to frown. No, but that particular scary smiley face is what we don't like. But you should smile. Smile right now. Even though your heart is breaking, smile. Though your something's aching. That kind of thing, right, Floyd the Floorman? What? Tomorrow we will bring you another new band. They are called BLAUS. Or BLAUS. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yes, all these one-word named bands. Bed, ISHI, BLAUS. You see, we've got a theme going on here on Mike's Daily Podcast. And this is certainly no exception. We'll hear some great music from the band BLAUS. Talk to them tomorrow. Plus, we will hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Mike, a diode walks into a bar and says my phone number is 555. It's over. Wow, that's good stuff.